As so much new information is being revealed and misinformation shared, many people cannot cope with accepting certain possible realities. And as a society, we have been indoctrinated in endless ways by religion, media, politics, science, pharmaceutical industry, etc., etc. We've all been led to believe certain things. Our perception has been manipulated, so we can accept certain limitations as being true. However, when a new concept comes to light, people cannot psychologically cope. Their ingrained beliefs must not be challenged. They feel threatened, so they will attack, defend, fight to hold on to an idea. They will completely block it out and disregard what is obvious, evident, and undeniable in order to protect their conditioning, which of course they're not aware of as being their conditioning. So when a new concept is perceived as being so dangerous, it becomes easier to pretend that it's not true, so they can continue doing what they've always done. This narrow-mindedness, or choosing to be ignorant, is a defense mechanism. They are afraid, so choose to remain in denial. And I'm sure all of us have experienced this, looking back at some point in our life when a certain piece of information was just too shocking or too disturbing to accept. Let me give you some examples that will cause cognitive dissonance. When your father, who's meant to protect you, is also abusing you. When your wife, who's meant to be loyal to you, is also cheating on you. When the charity who's asking you to run 100 kilometers to raise funds for cancer research is also producing drugs that cause cancer and support companies that make frankenfoods contributing to disease and cancer. When the law enforcement agencies tell their citizens they will keep their children safe, but they are also engaged in running pedophile rings. So I invite you to observe a more panoramic view of what's going on. We've all experienced it on a personal level, and now it's happening on a global level. People experiencing cognitive dissonance suffer greatly because of their inability to accept new evidence, alternative perceptions that are contrary to their indoctrination. You cannot reason with them, use logic, or offer undeniable evidence. This is really frustrating to those who can observe this because they're choosing to suffer instead of surrender. They're deciding to resist instead of accept or even consider. And many of us may have experienced this frustration when we wanted to tell someone we love about the narcissist that was abusing them, but they could not cope with the information you were so blatantly seeing before your eyes. They struggled to accept two contradictory truths, that the person they love is also the person who is abusing them. We are seeing this on a mass scale now. Humanity who aren't aware of the conditioning they've received struggle to accept two contradictory truths. For example, the pharmaceutical industry, who they believed was helping them, was actually harming and profiteering off them. The food they believed was nourishing them was actually poisoning them. The celebrities they looked up to as heroes or gods are just puppets used to socially condition them. And the list just goes on and on. There is so much new information being revealed every day that humanity is struggling to comprehend the deceptions and lies we've been spoon-fed. And those of us who are awake will not be as affected as the masses who didn't know that they were intentionally being kept in the dark. When you've done the groundwork on a personal level, when you've invested in doing your own shadow work, confronted both the good and the not so good aspects of yourself, your reality, you're no longer as shocked, surprised, or resist new evidence that may be contrary to what you've been led to believe. Let's remember that everyone is waking up at a different pace. Some are able to accept and integrate new information, but many are still in resistance, denial, and they find comfort in refusal and endless arguing. Symptoms of cognitive dissonance can include anxiety, stress, regret, shame, negative self-worth, or embarrassment. So dissonance is basically a feeling of being misaligned. You're not in resonance. And of course, that can go on to manifest on a physical level as insomnia, irritability, indigestion, headaches, muscle aches. So remember to take regular time outs. Accept yourself and other people, wherever they may be on their journey of awakening. Be patient with yourself and others, and don't engage in conflict or judgment, because both are counterproductive to your physical and mental health right now. Instead, take care of yourself. Know that what is occurring is for the greater good. See the bigger picture, that this is not just about politics or religion, it's much, much bigger. It's about humanity waking up collectively, no longer accepting the lies and all the ways we've been enslaved. This is like collectively doing shadow work, painstakingly confronting all the things that we didn't want to look at as humanity. Of course it's not pretty, and it's definitely not comfortable, but one thing's for sure, and that is that it can't continue. Things aren't getting worse, they're just getting clearer. They're only going to get worse for those who still want to lie, deceive, or hide the truths. And it will become impossible for you to unsee certain things that you're about to see. But once you wake up, you can no longer pretend to be asleep. Self-awareness is key. This global situation is inviting all of us to sit with this internal discomfort and find a new resonance, to discover what is in alignment for us instead of lying to ourselves. And we don't have to have a meltdown if we're presented with information that contradicts a previous belief. If we're open, humble, flexible, it's going to become easier to navigate these stormy waters. So it's time now, more than ever, to extend love to ourselves and others. Perhaps notice our own attachment to things. And remember that illusions are being destroyed. This is an unprecedented time in history. We need to see past the reactivity and fear and trust that this will pass. It cannot last. And as the dust settles, the confusion will dissipate and it will be replaced with a crystal clear clarity, because the truth will set us all free.